Can you live off $2,500 per month USD here in Dominican Republic, specifically Santo Domingo? I wanted to record these videos because I put out a video about a week and a half ago, maybe. And in that video, Jerry and I was talking about the cost of living. And he mentioned that he thinks if you had $2,500 per month, which I concur, that was like the baseline, that you could live fairly comfortable here in Dominican Republic, specifically Santo Domingo. I wouldn't say immediately after the video dropped, but soon after the video dropped, I get someone hit me up and said, man, I just watched this video and you were saying about living in Santo Domingo for $2,500 per month. And he just said, how, man? How? Because every time I talk to a realtor, they're saying it costs X, Y, and Z to live here, and I just need to know how. So I said, let me make this video so I can show you how you can do it. Now, let me say this before I get started is, I know, don't waste your time in the comments telling me you can live for cheaper than this in another part of the island, or you can live cheaper than this in another part of Santo Domingo. And don't tell me that, oh, it costs, you'll need more to live because that's not enough for you, yada, yada, yada. We understand that. If that's you, then this video isn't for you. Everybody is not as frugal on everything as you are, and everybody is not as flamboyant as you are. So most other people, which in life in general, are always in the middle. There, you know what I'm saying? Most people are there in the middle. So I'm talking to you people that's in the middle. So I don't want to hear that about, oh man, I need more than that. Hey, go watch another video. All right, so anyway, let's get to it. So I'm going to show you about 7 examples as to how you can do this. So guys, stay with me. And let's keep in mind, this is for one person, not 2 people, 1 person. And this is what I would do if I was single and I had an income of $2,500 and I wanted to move away from the United States or Canada or UK or Australia or wherever you are. This is what I would do with my $2,500, and this is how I would spend it. So I'm gonna put on the screen the things that I pay per month here already to kind of give you an average as to what your overhead is gonna look like. So we're gonna talk about your overhead first, minus the rent, because we're not gonna get into the rent until we start showing examples. So minus the rent, I'm gonna show you the overhead as to what I pay and how I came up, how I came up with these figures, and most of them I come up with them because that's what we pay. All right, so let's get to it. So the first thing you're gonna need when you have your apartment or your condo or wherever you're living at, a home, whatever it is, you're gonna need utilities. We pay an average of $150 a month in utilities. Now, I'm not gonna even talk in pesos. I'm gonna go ahead and convert it for you because I know you guys are lazy and you want everybody to do something for you. So I'm gonna hold your hand as much as possible, all right? So we pay an average of $150 a month in utilities. Now, this could fluctuate a little bit more or it could fluctuate a little bit less. It just depends on how we run our AC. Sometimes, we always run it at night. But sometimes during the daytime, we may cut it on, especially when we're doing videos and we don't want the noise to come in. Or sometimes I may want to take a nap down here on the couch and I turn the AC on while I take a nap for a couple of hours. So it just all depends on how we use it, but it averages out to about $150 a month, all right? Keep that in mind. The next expense is internet and cable. Yes, I know some of you may not watch cable, but the way it works here, man, you might as well get it together. You're really not gonna save anything. So you just get internet and cable, and we pay $50 a month. This is a fixed cost. So $50 a month for internet and cable. The next bill we pay is water. Now, there's no water bill that comes in, but we do have to buy water weekly, and we get those. I don't even know the name of them. They're not botellas or botella-thons. I don't know, man. I'm gonna put the name up there and I'm gonna show you a picture of it. And we go through about 2 of those per week, and they're 110 pesos. So I don't know what that comes out to be, but total, I don't know what that comes out to be in pesos, but monthly, that's about $15 a month that we pay in water. 2 per week, 8 per month, $15. That's another expense. You don't want to use or drink the water out of the faucet. So let's go to the next one. The next one is cell phone. If you're over here and you want to get a cell phone, it's going to run you about $30 per month. $30 per month. Personally, I still have my cell phone back in the States. I need to keep my US number, but for some people, they don't have a need to keep their US number. They can just keep their, they just can go get by with a Dominican number. And so if you get a Dominican phone plan, that's gonna run you about $30 per month. Now, it could be a little bit more, or a little bit less, depending on the plan you get, but typically average $30 per month. The next expense we have is health insurance. Yes, I don't recommend you come live in a foreign country without any health insurance. I look at this as a necessity. Now, we pay for a family of 3. We pay $181 or $185 a month in health insurance. We have the second best plan with Universal ARS, which is one of the top insurance companies here. We pay $181, $85 a month, something like that, $181 or $185, I can't remember, but it's somewhere in there. I'm averaging that it will cost you about $125 per month for one person. Again, this is just average. And the reason I said $125 is because you may want the top plan, the insurance company you go with, and it's one person. So you're looking at about $125. And actually, I've heard people say they pay less than that, maybe around $85 for one person, and they have a nice plan. But let's just say, for the sake of this video, $125. I doubt if it is more than $125. And remember, also, another thing that comes into play too, our factor is your age. So keep that in mind. So let's keep it at $125 for health insurance for one person. All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one, I almost didn't put it in here because this one really fluctuates depending on the person. And you always got someone that wants to say, well, I don't spend that much, or I spend more, and it's concerning groceries. And we're talking about groceries for one person. Now, I didn't know how to come up with this number, so what I did was I Googled the average cost of groceries for one person in the US per month, and Google returned to me $268 minimum to $434 maximum per month. I think that we could say that's about right, somewhere in there. If you are one person and you're eating $430 some a month, man, your ass is greedy. Listen, that's a lot of food. So, or you may be big as a house, so you better cut your grocery bill back. All right. So, what I decided to do is I put those two numbers together, got an average, and the average was $335 per month. However, I personally believe, because I've lived here for 3 years and I know what costs, I say on average, we spend 20% less on groceries here than we did in the States. So we're gonna go with $268 per month on groceries, all right? Once you add all these up, you know what you got? You got $638 per month in overhead. Now, I think that is all I can think of in terms of overhead. I don't know what else you'll need. I know some people say, what about gas? Everybody's not gonna have a car, you know? And then if you take Uber, all that fluctuates. You know, it depends on how many times you leave your house. You know, me personally, even with gas, I'll just say for me, even with gas for me, I put about 1,500 pesos in my car, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, because I don't drive a lot, you know, and that's about $25 maybe. And like I said, that's just every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how much I drive. But we're not gonna even put that in there. That's just so minimum that it doesn't even matter. And then the next thing people always talk, well, what about my entertainment? What about, man, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do for entertainment. I don't know. Maybe you go and read books. I don't know. That doesn't cost anything to do that. Maybe you go out and, you need to go to the club and have a couple drinks. Maybe you like me where you need cigars. I don't know. So that's going to fluctuate from person to person. You guys need to figure that out. After I give you these numbers, you can add what you think is going to cost in terms of your entertainment. But I can tell you right now, if you're here, coming here to chase skirts, none of this is going to work for you because it's going to cost your ass a lot of money. All right. And I want you to understand this too. This is a Distrito Nacional. Strictly Distrito Nacional, not Santo Domingo Oeste, no Santo Domingo Este, Norte, nowhere. Distrito Nacional. I wanted to specifically do this because the places I'm going to show you are places that I personally would stay, and they're a little bit more upscale, middle class areas where most people, well, I wouldn't say most people, where I know, yes, I would say most people will feel comfortable staying in these particular places. All right, so let's get to it. So the first place it's in Cerriles. I hope I'm saying that right. And it is $1,100 US per month. It's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it also has a parking space. So let's take the $1,100, marry it to the $638, you get $1,738. Subtract it from $2,500, and you come up with $762. That is your disposable income per month, which is $190 per week. Now, can you live off $190 per week? Or do you think you're able to go out and have a nice meal and maybe even go out and invite somebody out with you and have a nice meal at least twice a month or 3 times a month? Can you go to the cigar bar? When I go to the cigar bar, I spend $25 US every time I go. I mean, are you able to go to the cigar bar? Are you able to go to a club, get you a couple of drinks? Drinks run average about $7 per drink. Cocktails, beers about $3 or $4. So are you able to do have some entertainment in there with $190 per week? All right, let's move to the next one. This example, the apartment is in Piantini. The rent in this particular apartment is $1,050 USD. It's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and 1 parking space. So you take your $1,050, add it to your $638, and you have $1,688. You subtract that from the $2,500, and you have $812 of disposable income per month, which is about $203 per week. Will that work for you? Let's go to the next one. So this next apartment is in Urbanización Fernandez. The rent for this apartment is $1,000 USD. And this one too is a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it has a parking space. So now, with this particular example, you're gonna take 1,000, add your 638, which is your overhead, and you're gonna get $1,638 to live in this particular unit. You're gonna subtract 1,638 from $2,500, and you're gonna come up with $862. And that per week is $215 per week. Can you live off that per week, per month, $862? Let's go to the next one. This next place is in Bella Vista. This one here is $975 per month. It's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and 1 parking space. Take your $975, add your $638, and you got $1,613. Subtract that from $2,500, and you have $887 per month disposable income, which is about $222 per week. Can you live off that per week? All right, let's go to the next one. This next apartment is in Evarista Morales. The rent for this apartment is $950. This is a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and also 1 parking spot. You take that $950, You add it to your $638, your overhead, you get $1,588 per month to live in this unit. You subtract that $1,588 from $2,500 and you got $912 per month disposable income. That's $228 per week. You see, as it's going down, as the rent is decreasing, you're having more disposable income. Let's go to the next one. All right, so the last one here is in Naco. And this one here is $900 per month. It's a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it also has a parking spot. So you take your $900 in rent, add it to your $638 in overhead, and you have $1,538 per month to live in this particular unit. You take the $1,538, subtract it from $2,500, and you're left with $962 in disposable income, which is about $240 per week. Now you tell me, can you live off $240 per week after all your expenses, your necessities are paid? You let me know. But I can tell you with me, I can do it off $240 a week. There's no in the world I'm spending $240 a week here just blowing it, you know. So some people can, some people will, but I wouldn't. I can maintain the rest of the month off of that particular amount. So guys, these are just some examples of how you can live off $2,500 a month. Now, this budget works for me. So I know if it works for me, I'm pretty, like say, in the middle. But with some people, it's way more than enough. And like I say, with others, it's not enough. So, and remember, what I wanted to say too is that these are furnished apartments. If you notice, they're all furnished. So if you come across some that are not furnished, you're gonna be able to save a little bit more than what you're saving here because they're gonna be unfurnished. You can get the unfurnished apartments really cheap, or cheaper. Let me say really cheap. You can get them cheaper. But most people, you know, they don't wanna have to deal with furnishing an apartment. They wanna come in, unpack their bag, and they wanna just, you know, start living. So that's why I did furnished apartment. I want to give people options that I will feel comfortable with moving to another country, specifically Dominican Republic, where I can unpack my bag and go to sleep and not have to worry about anything because I know I'm in a place that has a concierge, 24-hour security, covered parking garage, all that good stuff. So guys, until the end, remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present because that's the only way you're going to live your best life. And I'm out. Peace.
Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, no.